All right, students, we're going to learn how to play a fun little math game called Get to Zero. Now, I got this math game from YouCubed, Joe Bowler's website and inspiration. And so I will drop a link to that in the comments underneath this video. But here you go, Get to Zero. This is a chance to practice your subtraction and also use some strategic problem solving and thinking. Okay, remember, mistakes are awesome and they make our brain grow. So here is what you're going to do. On a sheet of paper, you need to write the players' names and the number 999 under them. So you're probably going to have two players or maybe three. And what you do is you roll three dice. Okay, so step number 2 here, you would roll three dice and arrange the numbers, right? So if you had a 235, you could pick a 235, a 352, and a 532. Those are some options. You could make others. And then you subtract that three-digit number from 999. The other players will check your work, okay? And you take turns, right? Roll the dice, make a number, subtract from your total. Your goal is to be the first person to get to zero, but you got to get to zero exactly. You can't go over, you can't go under, okay? At any time, a player may choose to roll only one or two dice instead of three. And if the only numbers that you roll are larger than your remaining score, you lose your turn. So let me go ahead and give you an example of how this is played. Now, I'm only playing it with one person right now, but you'll be playing with two or three, and the first person to zero is the winner. Okay, so start with a number 999, which I have written right down here. My first roll, so this is roll number 1 right here. My first roll is a 6, a 3, and a 2. So I'm going to create the number. Now I could make 236, I could make 362, but I'm going to make a big number. I'm going to make 632. So I'm going to write down a 632, and I am going to subtract from 999. 9 minus 2 is 7, 9 minus 3 is 6, and 9 minus 6 is 3. So I end up with 367 left over. Okay, so now my opponent would go. They would do their roll and their subtraction. And now it's my turn again. And so here's my second roll. So this is roll number 2 for me. Now this time I get 300. I get a 3, a 5, and a 6. Now I can't make 653 because I can't subtract that from 367. So I have to make a number that I can subtract from 367. So I'm going to rearrange my numbers, and this time I will go with 356. So let's say that I go ahead and subtract 356 from this number, okay? And here we go. 7 minus 6 is 1, and 6 minus 5 is 1, and 3 minus 3 is nothing. Okay, so now here's the tricky part. I've got 11 left over, and I've got to try to get to zero exactly. Now, let's say I make a mistake on my third roll, and I choose to roll 2 dice instead of 1. I should have picked 1 dice here, but let's say I chose to roll 2 dice. Now, if I got a 1 and a 1, I would get it exactly. But in this case, I got a 3 and a 6. So I can either make the number 36 or I can make the number 63. But both of those numbers are bigger than the number 11. And so I lose my turn. And then the next time I roll, I'd better roll only 1 dice. Okay, so let's say the next one, maybe I roll let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say I roll a 6 next time on 1 dice. Now I subtract 6. I have 5 left over. I would roll 1 dice again on my 5th roll. That was my 4th roll right there. And the idea is I've got to try to get to 0. And if I roll more than that, I lose my turn. Okay? And the idea is to get to 0 as quickly as possible by manipulating your numbers. All of the directions are here. I will include links, and I hope you have a good time playing this game, manipulating the numbers, learning some number sense, and practicing your subtraction. Have a great day and enjoy math.